In this video, I'm going to do an oil change on this 2001 115 horsepower Mercury CT command thrust. First thing, I need a few tools in this. I'm going to need 5.5 quarts of 10W30, the right oil filter. I'll show you that. Some of that stuff's over there. I'm going to need a hose for a drain on the oil on the side, oil filter wrench, and I have 2 gallons so I can put the 5 quarts in here. I'm going to drain it with the hose into the gallons. I'm going to run this boat first for about 5 minutes to get the engine oil warm. That way it drains out and mixes up. And then I obviously want to run water with your muffs. So let's get into it. I'm going to hook up the muffs, and you never want to run your boat without water. The impeller, the rubber impeller inside will burn out in a second. I mean, it could run for a while, but you don't want to do that. I'm going to hook this side muffs up on the back like this. I always do the back with this in case the prop goes on or you need to run it. That way the prop doesn't hit this or the hose. I cut a lot of that out because I had my earmuffs, my motor muffs are a little bit older, so the rubber's a little bit harder. It didn't seal as well as the new ones would. I probably need to get new ones, but I had to sit there and hold it for a while. Now that the engine's hot, warmed up, you want to flip this. You pull this out, and you can pull this up. I'm being real careful with this. I actually have to tilt the motor on this one. That way I can get it out. Comes off like that. Now I'm going to put the motor level again. Make sure you're watching out for your skeg. There we go. This is your oil cap on top up here. I'm going to remove that right now. That way it flows better. You don't want to lose this. I just kind of let it sit there. That way it can breathe as the oil comes out the bottom. This is your oil drain right here. I got a 5-inch wrench socket here. I'm going to break that loose. I'm going to get ready for the oil here. I'm going to put this on and get a bucket ready, which you can hardly see here, but I'm going to be spinning this. So I'm going to spin this. I got rags down on the ground. There we go. There we go. It's flowing. I had to get the angle right, but it's draining slowly here. Once that gets close to full, it's getting there. I'm going to add my 2nd gallon, being careful I don't spill. This is just so you can get a better look at this 5/8. You really need a socket on that. It'll be really hard to fit a wrench in there. I got this set up kind of just over the trailer now. I got my about 3 quarts out of there. I'm going to get another 2.5 out. Then here's your dipstick right here. When you're all done, you check your oil. And this is the oil filter right here. So I have an oil filter wrench for that. And there's a little tray here that you can catch it in there, all the oil that's left over. But I drain the oil first because some of it will come out and drain into the engine. Then after that, you can get something set up here and catch it out of the catch, or use a rag, paper towel, and catch the rest of the oil out of there. With the filter on this one, on this 2001, it's here's the number right there, 35-8M0162829, using a Merc Cruiser on there. And then there's the 5.5 quarts I'll be using. That's 6. Obviously, I'll be checking the oil after and double checking, adding the oil on top here with a funnel. All right, we can see that the oil is done draining. So I just got to kind of drain it out of, oh no. Oh, spilled a little bit there. That's all right. Drain it out of the hose. Make sure that's all cleaned out. Spilled a little bit there, no big deal. That's why I got paper towels. It's seriously almost impossible to do an oil change without spilling. If my hose was a little bit newer and less hard, it could have been done. Okay, now that I got that all done, you're going to hand snug this tight, but not so tight you're going to break anything. So tight it up though. There we go. Clean, not dripping, snug tight. All right, we're going to add our oil now. Take off the oil filter. All right, now that I have the oil out, I'm going to take off the oil filter here. And there is a drip tray in here, but I still want to keep it clean in there. So I'm going to do that. Take this off. This wrench is a small one, but it's almost too big. It's coming off though. There we go. And then tilt it up right away. There we go, it's up. Not much oil came out. It's filling up the drip tray though. It's funny how almost perfect that drip tray is for the amount of oil that comes out. It filled it right to the top. And here's the bleeder here where you can pull this off, put your hose back on, and dump it out. So what I did is I took this off and I quickly put this hose on here so it could drain out into the gallon. It's drained very slow. You want to kind of bring your hose over to this side, that way it goes lower. It's draining, but not fast. And make sure you don't have your oil filter old gasket on your motor here too. So yeah, you don't want to make sure your rubber seal from your old gasket is on here. You want to grab some of your oil here and lube this up. Nice and lube, so when you're spinning it on, it spins on nicely and doesn't grab. Now it's kind of finished draining as best it can here. I'm going to take the hose off, put this back on, and I'm going to dab out the rest of the oil so it's very clean. You don't want any oil inside your boat. A few paper towels, or rags, whatever you have. There we go, that's fairly clean. I'm gonna do some new ones here. In there, make sure it's super clean. And grab some of that oil, lube up your seal, screw that back on. You want to give it a good hand tight. I never go too tight, but I go tight. You want to squish that rubber gasket. A little bit slippery. Good hand tight. There we go. That's tight enough. Again, here's your dipstick. Now we're going to add the oil on top. All right, I got my funnel all cleaned out. You want to make sure your funnel is perfectly clean. You don't want any dirt or anything going in there. Now I'm going to add my 5.5 quarts. This engine calls for 1030 4-stroke Mercury engine oil. And I always use what's recommended. There we go. That's a half quart. Put the oil cap back on. Now I'm going to run the engine for about 5 more minutes. I'm going to check the oil. Here's the dipstick on the side. When I did the filter and I checked the dipstick, you can turn the engine like you're going to the left. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now that I ran the engine and it's warm, I'm going to check the dipstick. Ooh, that looks clean. Yes, very clean. See, this is why you always check the oil. I realized something after I was done. I actually only bought 4 quarts. So I need to add another, this whole quart, which would be quart 5. And I need to get it a half quart. I messed up on that. That's why you check the oil. I don't know what I was thinking when I picked up a gallon thinking that was 5 quarts. So I thought I needed this half quart, but now I need an additional half quart. Now I have 5 quarts in. I'll show you where it reads on the engine what you need. I actually bought 1 4-quart gallon and a single quart, which equals 5. I should have bought 6 quarts because I need 5.5. I did end up going out and buying that 6 quart to add the extra half quart. Much better. Yeah, still a half quart low, which is not a problem. I'll get it. This is where it shows you what you need. You need 1030, 5.5 quarts, or 5.2 liters. And it kind of shows some of the other maintenance stuff. At 100 hours, you need to do, every 300 hours, you need to do the plugs, water impeller. So, you know, and it shows you what plugs, what gap it is here. But so far, I'm pretty done. I'm going to just get that other half quart and add that in. Now I'm going to put on the hood. There's this hook right here that sets in the front. You can't really see it, but sets in the front. Goes on like that. And locks. Hopefully. There it goes. It just clicks on when you push it hard enough. There we go. There you go. That's how you do an oil change on a Mercruiser 115. This is a 2021. A lot of them are pretty similar. The main thing is don't run the boats without water and check the oil. So I was a half quart off on this one. I'll get it and I'll put it in. Not a big deal. It was a brain fart. I just have to drive and get the oil. Thank you very much for watching.